Yes, guys, welcome to the Gianni Petici YouTube show. We are live on Sunday, reacting to all of the Saturday games. And boy, was Saturday a big one because 16 of the 20 teams played. It feels like we can pretty much judge our game week. Sure, there's 4 teams still to play, but many of us owned 9, 10, 11 players on Saturday. And we'll do a poll in a minute to see how many guys you own. Let me know in the chat. Hello to so many watching live. Hello to everyone that's watching this on catch up. We're going to look at data in today's show, the data of the game week so far, all from Scout members area. We're going to look at some awesome average position and touch maps. I'm going to show you where my team's at. Loads to look forward to. I'm also going to be answering your questions. So thank you to everyone that's joining and spending your Sunday morning with me. Looking forward to the next hour or so. We do have a poll in the chat for those watching live. Will you captain Mo Salah in game week 5? We're going to talk way more about that later. But so far, 66% of you are looking, 66% of you are looking to captain Salah still off the back of his blank, and maybe the slot honeymoon period is over. But next week does bring us issues for captaincy. Remember, Haaland away to Arsenal, or is he home to Arsenal? He plays Arsenal. Many will be put off by that. But the way he's playing right now, maybe we look past that fixture. Maybe Haaland still is the obvious candidate. Or do you go Palmer? Well, after last night, maybe you don't go Palmer. Or do you go Ollie Watkins if you own him? Ollie Watkins has got a good fixture. Certainly tempting one for me. We'll check out some data in a second. Guys, let me know with your points to date. Loads at 46. Sanchez got William 15 points. That is massive. Well played. Well played. Yeah. That is awesome. Morning, FPL Welly. No one talked about Watkins this week, so I went for him. So did I. I'm absolutely buzzing with Ollie Watkins. Of course I am. I absolutely needed that. Gucci is in the house. Good to see so many of my Aussies in. Bad week for most. 43 FPL back during FPL things. Yeah, I mean, look, the Nkunku goal couldn't have been more FPL, could it? Kev had Sanchez. Well played. FPL Down Unders in the house. Sammy's here. Sammy, I need to make you a mod. Hang on. Looks like... Right, Sammy is in the house and he's a mod. Oh, CH is with us. No, wait, CH, what time is it for you? Maybe it's late night, I guess. Morning, CH. Hope you're good. Fair play to Watkins owner, says Ryan. Yeah, no, that was great. Look, let's get on and look at some of the big headlines from the weekend just gone. We can see the results. Before we move on to some data, guys, hit me with a name in the chat, the team that performed for you, the standout team of the game week so far. Was it Chelsea? Was it Villa? Was it Forest? Not necessarily the result, but the standout team in terms of who we should be looking at in FPL. Who really caught right? Is it Man United players? I mean, Forest deserve more respect. Absolutely. Notion vids. We're all saying, oh, Forest defence numbers, can't read too much into it. They played really good. They played really easy fixtures, but they just went to Anfield and got clean sheet. Ipswich and Forest seem to be popular. Yeah, Ipswich did well. We'll look at some numbers in that game. Brighton really should have scored. Man United, look, fair play United. FPL Mackham says Brighton. Yeah, I mean, look, they're keeping clean sheet and they're still producing XG. Brighton points are coming. I like that. Forest defence, for sure. I mean, is Sells the best 4.5 goalkeeper? Probably. Sanchez looked good. Bournemouth are looking good going forward. That's a really key note for next week, because if we're all looking to captain Salah, and 65% of you in the chat are looking to captain Salah, Bournemouth are decent. Bournemouth are decent. Remember, that's who Salah plays in game week 5. So look, let's crack on, shall we? I want to talk about some individuals before we look at the teams. Guys, if you're wondering why you can't make a comment, if you're trying to comment, the chat is for subscribers only. So if you want to comment, do subscribe to the channel. And do hit that like button. And if you subscribe to the channel, within seconds, you'll be able to comment. What I would love to do today, I'd love to give away some channel memberships as well. So look, if we hit an awesome subscriber total, let's say we hit 100 subs in today's show, we will do we'll give away 5 memberships. So hit that subscribe button if you're new around here, and let's crack on and look at some individual performances and then some team data. This is all from the Scout members area. In terms of the overperformers, well, it's pretty obvious. All the guys that scored goals usually are the overperformers because they score goals which often in McNeil's case and Hudson-Odoi's case, really low XG goals, like 0.02 for McNeil, 0.07 for Hudson-Odoi. Really huge overperformance. But even Haaland gets his 2 goals from a fair few shots, but only 1.1 XG. And Watkins with the brace with 1.18 XG. Nice to see. Even Nkunku, 0.30, took his goal so well. And Duran, the reason Duran's XG is 0.33, his goal was like 0.01. He had a big chance that he missed, or a fairly big chance that he missed. It was a great goal, yeah, from Hudson-Odoi. Guys, give me your goal of the round so far. Goal of the round so far, because we've seen absolute bangers. Like, obviously Hudson-Odoi's goal was great. And Nkunku's spin was amazing. I was impressed with even simple goals like the Ollie Watkins header. He outjumped 6'3" Michael Keane. But clearly there was one standout, wasn't there? And I think you're all going to agree with this one. Yeah. It's Duran. It's Duran. Soul Search says Hudson-Odoi, but it's Duran, isn't it? He just absolute screamer. That is the definition of screamer. Let's see some underperformers then, because Xerxes, again, will miss big chances, guys. I've watched Xerxes a lot for Bologna. He was brilliant for Bologna last year. He ain't a number 9. This sounds weird. He isn't a goal-scoring number 9. Seems really weird. Neil Robertson's in the house. So happy for Neil. He wildcarded last week. And look, the wildcard teams didn't smash it, but there was a few individual performers in some wildcard teams that went to another level. And Neil punted on Sanchez, which, to be fair, the popular wildcard choice was Verbruggen and Flecken. Sanchez at 4.5, 15 point. He went into beast mode yesterday. Deserved the 3 bonus to penalty save, but during the game, racking up the save points too. Looked really good, and maybe he is the best 4.5 option, and maybe yesterday tells us that. So far this season for my goalkeepers, I've had 1s and 2s. I've had Henderson. Can't wait to wildcard and get a new keeper. I'm likely wildcarding in 6 and therefore going Raya, but yeah, let's see. So yeah, well played, Neil. Love that. In terms of the underperformers then, so Xerxes, yeah, he's not a natural finisher, but he's a very good link-up number 9. Evan Nilsson obviously missed a penalty. That's 0.78. Archer missed a penalty. Yeah. Savio missed some big chances too, though. And Matoma, I do think Matoma's an option. Traore, again, many wildcarders went there. Looked busy. Eze didn't get the penalty for Palace, but still racking up the XG, 0.46. Is Eze still a very good pick? Absolutely he is. I know he doesn't come with the penalty appeal now. He's still a very good pick. Yeah, Sammy says fair play to anyone that's Sanchez. Yeah. Nketiah is definitely one to monitor for those on Game Week 6 wildcard as well, because he's so cheap and he's going to get the minutes. Nico Jackson missing a big chance as well, 0.31 total. So look, now let's look at some team in terms of, I love looking at shot stats. I just want to see the teams that are 1, creating chances and 2, getting shots. And the Scout members area allows us to easily do this. So the light green section, the first part, if you're listening on podcast, by the way, I'll talk you through it. And guys, all of my YouTube shows are available in pod format. Just search my name on iTunes or Spotify. You get all of this on pod if that's your preferred platform or method of listening. So the light green is shots on target. So shots on target, Man United, 10. Decent for them. They're looking better defensively as well, United. I'm going to show you more data game by game. Over half their shots are on target, which is surprising. You rarely see that. Bournemouth clocking the shots against Chelsea. And again, whilst Chelsea kept a clean sheet and Sanchez was brilliant, they still look shaky at the back. Certainly, yeah, I was text Neil this morning. Disasi at right back's just not the one for me. Brighton, more shots than anyone. 21 shots for Brighton, but only 6 of them on target. And that's why you want a João Pedro in the team, because they're a team that will create chances. And Brighton attack is still, I think, a legit, very, very good option. Like I don't mind about the fixtures. We've just seen João Pedro in game weeks 2 and 3 score against Arsenal and Man United. They missed him in game week 4. They still clocked up the shots. When in game week 5, it's Forest at home, which I think is a good fixture. for Brighton. I know what Forest has just gone and done at Anfield, but it's fine. And then for Brighton, you go, the fixtures are tough because it's Chelsea, Spurs, Newcastle. Well, Chelsea defence looks vulnerable. Spurs defence is always shaky. And the Newcastle defence under Eddie Howe at the moment is like mid-table defence. They're not the Eddie Howe defence we've seen in years gone by. So for Brighton, Forest at home, Chelsea away, Spurs at home, Newcastle away, it's not bad. Like that there might be some tough teams in there. And maybe we can't say, yeah, Brighton are going to win that football match. But we can say Brighton are going to get chances and we can say Brighton are going to get goals. So I still think faith with Brighton, as even for those that might wildcard in game week 5. Guys, do get voting about your game week 5 captain option. We want to discuss captaincy for game week 5 later in the show. Gonna get to that. The chances created per team, of course, we can see again, like big numbers from the likes of Man United. Man City always create. Fulham are creating big chances. And then it's Palace and Villa to complete the top 5. Interesting that Fulham so high. Fulham really, and Sally says the Fulham clean sheet wipe in the last minute hurt. I bet it did. I owned Robinson, so yeah, of course it hurts. It is what it is. So look, I don't want to dwell too much on the bad. Let's look at some more good. In terms of individuals racking up shots, usual suspects. We've seen the teams, but who are the talisman? Well, Haaland, yep. 4 shots on target from his 6. Ollie Watkins could have had a hat-trick very easily. So could Haaland, to be fair. Rashford's getting the shot. And the guy that's probably the biggest troll in FPL so far this season, I think, and that is Morgan Rogers. He is constantly dodging points for me and many teams. Like, Morgan Rogers is I don't feel too hard done by because I know how popular he is amongst the community. Many of you guys will own Rogers. In terms of mass ownership, Morgan Rogers is only at 15.9%. The good thing about Morgan Rogers is the fixtures are still there. He's playing as a second striker and he's getting 90 minutes every time. He has played 90, 90, 90, 90. Like, he hasn't missed a minute yet. Sammy says, 456 of you watching, which is awesome. Thank you for spending your Sunday morning with me, guys. But only 61 likes. If you fancy hitting that like button, listen to Sammy, who's a Brentford fan. Sammy, give us some Brentford hot takes, will you? Sammy's also one of my channel members from the WhatsApp group. And if you want to check channel membership out, I'm going to give away 5 free members today if we hit 100 subs. So guys, do hit that subscribe button as well. Just make sure you're subscribed. Many watching this will think they're subscribed and they're probably not. If you are, hit the notification bell. If you're not, hit subscribe. And if you're wondering why you can't write in the chat, it's for subscribers only. So subscribe and then within seconds, you can write in the chat. Neil says Rogers should have scored 2, no question. Honestly, he is a good finisher. You'd watch him this season for Villa and go, he's not a good finisher. But when you look at him, his time at Middlesbrough, and for the under-21s, he just scored 3 in the international break. Like, he's just been unlucky, I think. I think that's just variance doing the thing. Like and subscribe, people says so. That's kind of, yeah. Sammy, any news on Vissa? Yeah, do let us know. Wildcard 5 is an interesting one. We'll talk about my team in a minute. It's something I'm going to look at. I was serious about wildcarding in 4. If we had heard Ollie Watkins was out, I was going to wildcard him for. Oh, my dad's calling me. Cam, could you call Dad? He's calling me. I'm at my dad's house. Just say I'm streaming, Cam. Thanks, CH. Right, where was I? Yeah, Rogers. Definitely hold on to him, like Rowena says. Definitely hold on to him. Salah, hat-trick next week, will bookmark it. Chances created, by the way. Amad Diallo had an absolute beastie performances. 6 chances created. De Bruyne on 5. Gundogan might just be one to monitor as well. Get your dad on the stream. He's not here. I'm at his house. He's coming home this morning, I guess. He's at my mum's. Yeah, we need to wait for more information on. Is game week 5 a wildcard a nonsense? I'm not sure it is. We'll do another poll in the chat. So far, 65% of you, by the way, are looking like you're going to captain Mo Salah. We'll come back to captaincy towards the end of the show, but let's just look. Are you considering a game week 5 wildcard? And we're going to do a yes. We're going to do no, used it. And then we're going to do no game week 6 or later. No, we're going to do no game week 6, no game week 7. We'll use. Sorry, it's taking me ages to write. I want to see some wildcarders. Look, game week 5 wildcard is far from optimal. Far from optimal. 4 was a way better time to do it. But if you're in crisis, yeah, that is Gaia in the background. If you're in crisis, guys, and you know your wildcard team in 6, and you think if you pull the trigger a week early, you have a better team, and then you get to carry the transfer. Remember, you get to carry. I've got 1 free transfer. I could wildcard in 5, and then I have a free transfer in 6. At the moment, I'm looking at a 1-week punt on a defender. I'm tempted to wildcard. I'm going to see. I'm going to see how many points I think my wildcard team gets, and how many points my actual team gets. But honestly, it's something I'm going to consider, and I will wildcard like it's a game week 6 wildcard. My team, it's been poor. But I was rescued by Ollie Watkins. And look, a lot of heavy lifting for Erling Haaland. But I think many of us can say that. When we look at his EO there, this is from Live FPL, 127% EO at my rank. In the top 10K, 162%. Ollie Watkins, though, proper differential. Oh, Alex has signed up as a member. Mate, thank you so much. As a member, Alex, all your questions will be answered. And I'll know you're a member, just like Mackham and Sammy, and I'll bring up all your comments. So yeah, welcome, mate. Thank you for joining. Right. My problem is next week. All right, I'm wildcarding in 6. I've said that. Gucci. Nah, I don't know if it would get wildcards not for 1 week, remember? Not for 1 week. Oh, it's very kind of you, Diamond. Oh dear. Oh dear. This isn't a great place to stream, is it? If you can hear a baby, that's my daughter. I'm sure this is great for podcast listens. Where was I? I've completely lost my rhythm. I'm trying to hear my wife talking to my dad and on the phone because he called me, and speak to you guys, bring up comments, do polls, and then also got my daughter crying. I'm like, she hurt herself. She's fine. Right. Yeah. Do you know what? At that age, they cry every 10 seconds. Right. Let's concentrate, Janny. Let's concentrate. Okay. In terms of my plan, oh my God, that's so true. The baby started crying as soon as I pulled up my team. Your daughter's discovered and Cuckoo scored, yeah. So, okay. The problem with my team and where I'm going, 41 for Alex. That's not bad. It's not bad in a game. Like, look, there's a lot of managers out there, Alex, that don't have Haaland. Imagine not owning Haaland this week. It must be so painful for you guys. Like, yeah, brutal. So look, my plan is I'm wildcarding in 6. As you can see, this week, I'm not going to get 11 men out. I've got Johnson didn't get any minutes. I need Lewis Hall to get some minutes, and I've got João Pedro and Sangare was injured. So I'm looking at potentially 9 men this week, or 10. Probably Lewis Hall comes off the bench. No, Ryan, I'm looking for a 1 week punt, right? So if I'm going for a 1 week punt, who do I bring in for 1 week? No, I'm wildcarding the game week 6. Oh, Neil, I'll get to that in a second. Yeah. So 1 week punt, I'm thinking a defender, I've got 5 million to spend. I've got 0.6 in the bank. If I sell Lewis Hall, 5 million to spend for 1 week, I might go Dogie. Like, he could be a pick for a goal or an assist. There's no 5 million defenders next week that come with like clean sheet guarantee. Villa play Wolves at home. Spurs play Brentford at home. I think Spurs will concede, but Dogie offers some upside. Maybe I go there. Yeah, honestly. But then I'm like, why not just wildcard? Will my wildcard 6 team outperform this team is the big question. And I suspect it might. And if it will, then I'll be wildcarding. Like, I'm worried about the likes of Jota even starting. Again, I'll probably be reacting to what we see with Champions League. Buonanotte, no, I'm looking for a 5 million defender. Looking for a 5 million defender. Cole will. I mean, Chelsea, if Chelsea are at home to West Ham, maybe Cole will or Cucurella. But Chelsea are away at West Ham. I fancy West Ham to score. So look, that's where I'm at. We'll come back to my team later in the show. Thank you, Ollie Watkins. I did take a 4-point hit, by the way, for Mo Salah and João Pedro. That's massively backfired. Like, Son and Isak could really punish that decision. I expect João Pedro to feature again next week. My thumb's I was at Center Parcs last week. Neil, you may have been actually, because I know it's having young kids and living where you live. You've got 2 Center Parcs wedged between an hour and a half each from you, I guess. There's one like Norfolk, Suffolk border, Thetford Forest, and there's one near Milton Keynes, Woburn. I went to the Woburn one. It was brilliant. First time going, loved it. If you got kids, it's brilliant sort of English holiday. But I was in the kitchen chopping, and I'm not used to their knives. Their knives were very sharp. I think my knives are quite blunt. And anyway, I was rushing. We were putting Guy to bed. I was trying to cook at the same time. And yeah, sliced the end of my thumb to the point where it's sort of end of my thumb is hanging off. Apparently it could self-repair and I keep the end of my thumb, or I might be left with an actual cut out my thumb. The blood was insane. So yeah. Yeah. Ouch. It was an ouch. So guys, let's move on. Talk about some of the games, because this is important to analyse. Brentford, for example, and I know Sammy's in the chat. I knew you would have been there. Yeah, you're closer to the Norfolk one, I think, Neil. Might go there next time. It's great. Brentford's numbers were impressive. Brentford's numbers were really, really impressive. Like, when I look at those numbers at the Etihad for an away team to clock 1.1 XG, that's good. To clock 8 shots. And what Brentford always do, Sammy will back me up here, what Brentford are very good at, they don't often accumulate a ton of chances, but they're a very good middling team from all those sort of middling teams like Brentford, with no disrespect there. They seem to rack up more big chances than most. And that's why Ivan Toney was such a good asset. A lot of big chances fell to Ivan Toney. They're a team that can play direct if they need to, and they find ways of, when they get their chances, the percentage of chances being big chances is often higher than most of the other middling teams. And they went to the Etihad, and look, we can see from their shot map, some of those bubbles, big chances in and around like 10 yards from goal. They're a good team, and you could pick them up a week early. If, for example, I'm wildcarding in game week 6, and I'm going to Burmo, I could go in Burmo game week 5 versus Spurs, no problem at all. Man City were a little bit off it. 1.56 XG total, although they did rack 18 shots. A lot of low XG shots and 2 goals. Haaland could have had a hat-trick, as always. Southampton Man United, guys, this was an even battle. This was an even battle for so long. Look, until you get to like the 90th minute, 93rd minute, it's pretty much level pegging for XG. And I know there was a penalty in there for Southampton. And then the last couple of minutes of the game, United clocked some two big chances there. But this shows me United are still vulnerable defensively, conceding 1.5 XG. But in attack, United are good. 2.93 XG. A lot of that did come late, but they've got match winners in their team, and they can, of course, do damage. Guys, do get voting in the poll, by the way. We have a poll about wildcard. 12% are looking to wildcard game week 5. That was about 25% were saying they're wildcarding game week 4. 37% have used it. So over a third of you have used your wildcard, and then many are still looking at game week 6 wildcard. Eze out from Burma. I wouldn't be selling Eze even with the penalties. Keith, at least everyone went mad. Yeah, exactly. Guys, this is the Liverpool pass and average position map. What do we think of Liverpool? Like, give me your appraisal of Liverpool. Is it a is it just teething problems? Is it just a one-off bad game? Is it the fact they've had easy fixtures, which is why they shine so much? Is it just a freak and they're actually really good? I'm not sure yet. It's still too early to judge. Salah was quiet, still super advanced. Diogo Jota, there's two types of number 9, right? There's a lot of types of number 9. In terms of average position maps, there's two types of number 9. There's number 9s that, when you look at an average position map like this, the number 9 is always the most advanced player. Haaland. Doesn't do much work dropping back, doesn't do much work linking with play, isn't that interested in getting on the ball early. Harry Kane under Southgate, right? Drops really deep, becomes a bit of a playmaker and feeds others. It's what Xerxes does really well. Jota's good at it. There's other number 9s that foxes in the box that don't leave the area and that aren't bothered about getting on the ball. They only want one touch, but if that one touch is a goal, they're happy. That's your Erling Haaland. Those number 9s are often the better number 9 FPL assets. Now, is Jota an FPL asset when he's playing as a number 9? In theory, yes. And it's difficult to judge him on only a couple of games under slot. We are going to see a Jota that gets big chances. And he could have scored very comfortably yesterday. He's also an elite finisher. I still think Jota's a good own. But a bit like England fans watching Harry Kane under Southgate, you scream at the TV, go, stop getting on the ball so much. Just wait for it to come to you. But the way Slot plays and the way Southgate played, he wanted Kane and Jota getting on the ball, being a bit of a playmaker. And they're very good at that. And it's better for the team, not better for your individual. In terms of Trent positioning, when Bradley came on, Trent actually moved to right wing, effectively, or right midfield. But even before that, Trent was super advanced. How he's dodging points, I don't quite know. But Trent is still a very, very good own. And Jota clearly next week is good. Let's see what Liverpool do in the Champions League. They go to AC Milan, or they host AC Milan. I can't remember. If the likes of Jota start, we could maybe see some rotation come the weekend. They do play next weekend, of course, on the Saturday. So it's not ideal. Like if they're playing Sunday, a little bit of time, they play 3 o'clock versus Bournemouth. That's going to be a week everyone goes Salah captain. Sure, I'm tempted. Sure, I'm really tempted to go Salah captain. Will I do it? I don't know. I'm not sure yet. Oh, Sammy's been a member for 8 months. 626 watching and only 150 likes. Come on, guys. Like, subscribe, enjoying the fun. Johnny giving up his time with his daughter and his dad. Oh, thanks, mate. Genuinely, whilst I should be taking the call with my dad and should be with my daughter, I was really excited to talk to you guys this morning. So, look, it's only an hour and I'm giving up my time purely because I want to, not because I have to. But yeah, if you do want to show your appreciation, you can hit that subscribe button. So thanks, team. Do you know what? I was up at 7. If you see my Instagram stories this morning at 7 a.m., I was cycling through Bedford with my daughter. I was on my dad's bike. He's got one of those baby seats. So we were cycling to the park because she woke up going, park, nonno, park. Nonno is granddad in Italian. And my dad isn't here, but yesterday took her to the park. So I was like, okay, daddy, take you to the park. So I've done some daddy daycare already this morning, which was fun. All right. Let's move on, shall we? Away from Liverpool to Crystal Palace. Biggest disappointment of the season so far in terms of expectation. They ended the season in terms of, this isn't StatsBomb. This is all from Between the Posts. You can see at the bottom of the screen there, Between the Posts. I do subscribe to Between the Posts. They're brilliant. It's like £1 or £2 a month, but it gives you so many cool images. And look, Scout is also really good at that. Check out Scout members area. I like the pass maps, and these lines are brilliant because the thicker lines show you the common passing routes. The thinner lines are the least common passing routes, but then the bigger circles are the players more involved, get more touches. And Nketiah had the most XG chain, which is interesting. What I wanted to point out on this map was Nketiah's position. Nketiah and Mateta are playing as front 2. It's effectively a front 3 with Eze, who does drift left always. Mitchell more advanced than Munoz. Mitchell getting more of the ball than Munoz is interesting. But Nketiah is definitely one to monitor. He doesn't have penalties, fine. I don't think we thought he was going to be on penalties. He's a way cheaper than a very good Mateta. XG chain is the XG that player got, or who got the most XG in terms of assists and goals. Who created the most XG and who got the most XG. So Nketiah was the most involved for XG. So let's move on. I think that's what XG chain is. I'm slightly blagging that, slightly guessing. I thought it was fairly obvious. Most progressive passes, by the way, Eze. Most progressive passes received, Eze. So not only does Eze receive all the progressive passes, i.e. from a Wharton or a Decore or a Mitchell, he also distributes a ton of progressive passes. Can't my words out. Eze's still a good pick. He still racked 0.45 XG yesterday, Eze. Oh, Laylex watching on double speed. I can't imagine what my voice must be like on double speed. I've never heard it. I don't wish to. I speak fast as it is. Yeah, Eze has been a bit of a troll. Not more so than Rodgers though. Guys, Fulham versus West Ham. We have to discuss it. Brutal for the Robin. Who owned Robinson? Who owned Robinson? Come on, own up. Robinson clean sheet wipeout game week 1 late at Old Trafford. He was on for 2. He was on for an 8-pointer at Old Trafford. He was on for 2 bonus points. And Xerxes, or was it Xerxes, scored with 5 minutes to go. Yesterday, he conceded in the 4th, 5th minute. Absolutely tragic. Glenn owns him too. Yeah, look, it was difficult. It was really difficult, but there are positive signs at Fulham. West Ham aren't a bad team, and Fulham racked 2.45 XG. Jimenez might keep his spot, by the way. Well taken goal. Muniz hasn't been firing, and that was always the problem with Muniz. You've got a very good backup striker, and if he doesn't perform, backup strikers will get a turn when Raul Jimenez, who's probably the highest paid player at the club, or certainly one of the top 3-4 highest paid players at the club, Raul Jimenez. I'd be surprised if he's not. Maybe someone can Google that and let me know. Who are the highest paid players at Fulham? I bet Raul Jimenez is top. I'd be surprised if he's not top 2, to be fair, but I could say top 4 and cover myself. Guys, guess in the chat, who are the highest paid players at Fulham? Muniz did just sign a new deal and got given the number 9 shirt this summer, but he won't be a high paid. Smith Rowe will be on an absolute wedge. Don't know who else. Don't know who else. I bet Leno's on some good money. Leno went from Arsenal, so he would have been on Arsenal money. Oh, here we go. Smith Rowe. Okay, Leno's the highest paid. That's funny. Smith Rowe, Leno. Leno is first. Wow. It's not Harry Wilson. No chance. Always think about the club they came from, i.e. what wages were they on before. So Leno straight away. I thought Leno because I just thought Arsenal wages, right? And Jimenez, I know, would have been paid a lot at Wolves. So Smith Rowe, Leno, both from Arsenal. Is Reece Nelson on loan? Although he wouldn't have been on huge money even at Arsenal. Adama Traore, I should think, is well paid. Yeah, it looks like Jimenez is third, but around 100k a week. Adama pays subs like Batici. I pay subs. Oh, he looked good for XG. You know what? I was listening to the radio I was listening to Soccer Saturday when Adama went down for a pen. They were like, pen! Wasn't given. It was just outside the box, but it would have been an Adama assist. Neil did punt on Adama. I'm not sure these high XG players keep missing. Yeah, I bet. I wonder if Nkunku now gets a turn. What do you reckon, Neil? I mean, he'll play on Thursday, but in terms of Premier League, I think Jackson still has the spot. But we're going to see a lot of Jackson and Nkunku swaps. And what we saw yesterday was it's Felix who's going to get the number 10 when Palmer's not there, not Nkunku. And Nkunku isn't a winger either. So I think Nkunku's best route to the team is number 9. I think the way he took his goal, the composure Nkunku showed, I'd start him every week. I think many Chelsea fans would. And let's see if he's an out-and-out 9. But let's try him there first. And look, Nkunku has dropped to 6.2. I think Sancho is 6.3. If you wildcard in, could you punt there? You could in 6. I don't know if you would in 5. You want to see another start or two. But player of the match, Sancho. He got player of the match. He only paid half a game. Guys, let's move on to Brighton Ipswich. And wow, this is the half position, half spaces pass map. So just looking, we can see here highlighted in green. If you're listening on podcast, what it is showing all of the passes in and around the box, to the sides of the box, or the sides of the 18-yard box. So this is where a ton of chances are created from, right? You receive a pass in these areas and it often leads to a shot, if not a goal. Look at where all these passes are going, straight into in and around the penalty spot, which is where a lot of shots are taken. So if you're racking up passes in these areas, it's going to lead to not only high shot volume, but it should eventually lead to goals. So I just wanted to show the difference, right? We could show the XG plots for every game, but rather than do that, in this instance, just to show how good Brighton are at playing high up the pitch, how good Brighton are at creating chances, in those half spaces, and let me know if you like these sorts of maps, look at the amount of arrows, that's at every single pass. And look at Ipswich. Very, very little, but still managed to get a draw. Only 8 passes in those spaces compared to 57 of Brighton. Yeah, that looks like my brain activity map. Yeah, it's an interesting one from between the posts. I do like it. But yeah, interesting to see how Brighton just are a very well-functioning team already under Herslow. We've seen 4 games. There's a complete identity there. They're getting into very, very good positions. And Brighton are going to score goals galore. I'm convinced of it. I think João Pedro is an excellent pick. I'm really excited to own João Pedro, even though I took a hit for him and it didn't pay off. I think it could pay off next week. Forest at home is still a good fixture. I know Forest have been good, but Brighton, I think, are better. Yeah, look, and fair play to Ipswich. Strong defensively. Strong. Yeah, that is brilliant from CH. That's her brain map. We'll move on from Brighton Ipswich. Oh no, we'll come back to that in a sec. So look, guys, this is a fantastic way for the reviews. Yeah, this is what I want to do every Sunday. If you like the idea of this show, every Sunday morning, I will be back if there's demand for it. So, guys, let me know. Let me know if this is something you want me to do every Sunday. I would love you to hit that subscribe button if you want to support the channel. By subscribing, you're, 1, encouraging me to do this every Sunday, but 2, you're going to see my videos, which are way better in terms of production value than my lives. My videos are often 10-15 minutes, team selections, wildcard drafts, team previews, buyer's guide, all of that jazz in the week. They're well edited, they're 15 minutes, they're succinct, and they're way more professional without babies crying in the background. So guys, subscribe if you fancy supporting the channel and joining my journey and being part of the chat. And thank you for hitting that like button this morning as well. So look, let's go back, shall we, and just review the game week so far. I've obviously gone through a ton of data there, a ton of pass maps. Let me know what sort of stuff you prefer in terms of, is it the data? Is it the pass maps? Is it the XG plots? Is it more scout members area stuff? And we'll do our best to combine more of that stuff every Sunday. You guys get to decide the agenda. Gee whiz, does Gee whiz know Heather? That's 4 a.m. for CH. That is early. Guys, so look, we rattled through some over and underperformers in XG. I thought that was interesting to see. Obviously, the overperformers are the goal scorers. Haaland clocking a brace off 1.1. Watkins clocking a brace off 1.2. The underperformers, are goals coming for Xerxes, Evanilson? Maybe. I think Savio and Matoma are interesting ones. And obviously Eze. Sammy likes the visual stuff. Yeah, I've always been drawn to the visual stuff, which is why I think if you take the average YouTube FPL show, what you'd see on probably 90% of them is more data-led stats to back up any opinion, or just pure stats, which there has to be a place for. And I need to integrate that more into my game and have done in recent years. And that's why Scout are so good, because I now make a point of spending time on the Scout members area. But the stuff in terms of how my brain functions, the fact that I watch football and I want to see it translate into visual stuff, and I'm more of a visual learner, I like to give you guys maps because that's the stuff I naturally would absorb. So I'm going to try and mix the both on these shows. Yeah, Evan Nilsson's definitely due. Oh, thanks, G-Wiz. Yeah, do drop a like if you fancy. So look, that's all the visuals. This is all the stat stuff. We saw the shots. Brighton impressive again with the shots. In the individuals, it's Haaland and Watkins. Like, if your player's getting 6 shots a game, you're so happy. And guys, what do we make of Ollie Watkins? I think we have to discuss Ollie Watkins. We're going to end this poll on wildcard. Only 10-11% are looking to wildcard this week. But I want to do an Ollie Watkins poll. Plan for Watkins. Genuinely, do you already own him? Like me, I'm very smug about that one. Buying. No plans to buy. Right. 4 options. With Ollie Watkins, do you already own Ollie Watkins? Are you buying him this week? Are you buying him in game week 6? On wildcard or beyond that? Or do you have no plans to buy him? And understand if there's no plans to buy him, because you can't have them all. You can't have them all. He could have had 5, yeah. Oh, yes, gee whiz. Very happy. Very happy for you there. I took a hit for Watkins last week, so I needed this. I absolutely needed this. In terms of Ollie Watkins' fixtures moving forward, it's a good run at the moment. It's a good run at the moment, but the run does continue. Like, it's Wolves at home. You could captain him next week. Genuinely, he's a legit captaincy option that I'm very tempted on. He does play Champions League on, I think it's Tuesday. Let me just... Yeah, he plays Young Boys. Plays Young Boys on Tuesday. That's good. That is an away game, annoyingly. Young Boys are Switzerland, so it's not a long flight, which is good. Like, if he'd been going to Turkey or Greece, I'd be like, oh. Okay, Ollie Watkins, in terms of fixtures, he plays Tuesday night. Great. He has still got some niggles. He did say post-match he's not 100%. So maybe we see 80 minutes against Young Boys, but then it's Saturday game against Wolves at home. I like that. I like that very much, Wolves at home. But the good thing is the Tuesday after, so it's Tuesday, it's Saturday. Tuesday, it's an EFL game, EFL Cup against Wycombe. That's a John Duran game, I promise you that. So Ollie Watkins has to play Tuesday, Saturday, but then he doesn't have to play to the following Sunday. He then gets a nice 8 days between games where he plays Ipswich. Yes. Then after Ipswich, though, it's like, oh, Bayern Munich, hello. And then after that, the Premier League fixtures is still good. So it's Wolves, Ipswich, Man United, Fulham, Bournemouth. Good run. Honestly, easy pick for me. Easy pick. No plan, but he scares me. And that's where I think a lot of people will be mixed economy on Ollie Watkins. It will be, I don't have a plan to get him because I've got my team structure isn't set up to easily get Ollie Watkins. And therefore just going to hide behind the sofa when he plays, because we know what Watkins does. He's very good at going on goal scoring runs, and many were waiting for him to score his first goal. Well, he just got a brace on Saturday. Now do we see that and react to it? I think many will. So 17% of those watching already own him, which is interesting because his mass ownership is higher than that, right? But he's in 23% of teams. 17% of you guys from the nearly 200 votes. 18% already own him. Buying this week, only 8%. Buying in game week 6 plus, though, quite a lot, 22%. And that'll be many wildcarders, I think, will go there. The entry point is good. It's not as good as Wolves at home, but it's Ipswich away. You take that as an entry point. And then no plan to buy is over half of you. 52%. That is interesting. That Duran goal, by the way, was insane. Guys, is that Duran goal the goal of the season so far? Goal of the season so far. What bangers have we seen? I've got a terrible memory. Guys, give me some examples of bangers that we've seen so far. I would probably suggest we haven't seen one that good. My favourite goal of the season so far is actually Italy in the Nations League against France. If we're going just general football goal of the season, that was a perfect team goal. The DiMarco goal was... Cortex is on it. DiMarco goal is goal of the season, 100%. But in the Premier League, Palmer's lob is up there. Palmer's lob is up there. Yeah, Bellegarde's was good. Rodgers did well yesterday, but missed big chances. More of the same. I can easily get Watkins from Jackson, so I'll watch this Champions League game closely. Yeah, I like that. The good thing for buying Watkins is we know he's not a fully fit because he said it post-match. I tweeted his quotes. But what we know from Watkins is he's got that EFL game against Wickham. So sure, it's a busy week. It's young boys on Tuesday. So he plays Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday. But then he's got 8 days for his next game because he will not play against Wickham. So that's quite nice. Duran's is more impressive. Look, Duran for individual brilliance, huge. The technique and the team goal of the Italy goal, I think, is better. But yeah. Diaz, good goal. Don't think it beats. Oh, I know what we need to poll. No, just let me know in the chat. Guys, how many players do you have left to play this game week? How many players do you have left to play? I have 1. And then I have Hall. So I've got 2, but 1 in my starters. How many starters do you have left to play? I've got 1. There's going to be quite a few with 0, right? Which is fine. Like, the teams playing today aren't huge FPL attractions because everyone sold Saka. Okay, there's a lot with 1. Jay's got 3. Rob Green's got 2. Is that the Rob Green? We've got Neil Robertson in the chat. Who knows? 5 to play. Maniki 0. Yeah, 57 all out. A lot are with all outs, which is fine. 57 is a good score, though, Fazal. Would you absolutely take that? So, yeah, how many players do you have left to play this game week? Let us know. Lots of 1s. Oh, 4. Porro and Isak. Yeah. Hall won't start. It'll be Lloyd Kelly at left back, won't it? It'll be Lloyd Kelly at left back. In terms of my team, I'm in a bit of a mess. Like, it's great to get Watkins points. Honestly, I think I might have to wildcard. Like, otherwise, I'm using a transfer on a 1-week punt. My plan is Lewis Hall to Udogie or wildcard. Guys, if I wildcard, let me run through the players that I will sell. Henderson, see you later. Trent will stay. Robinson might stay. Don't know. Probably not, actually. Johnson will go. Gordon will probably go. Jota will go. Reluctantly, because I think he's potentially a good pick for 1 more week. Rodgers will stay. Salah will probably... I don't know. Don't know what I'll do with Salah. I'd have to keep him, wouldn't I, if on wildcard? Haaland will stay. João Pedro will stay. Watkins will stay. Oh, yeah. It's going to be tough to get Saka into that team, isn't it? And Arsenal defence. Yeah, I'd probably have to go without Saka and then convert Salah to Saka. Yeah, wildcard's going to be tough. Wildcard's going to be... I'll put together a wildcard draft early next week. Early next week. As they drive me nuts. Yeah, I think he's many of you. Guys, awesome to have nearly 700 of you watching this Saturday morning. Is this a good time slot? 9 a.m.? I was doing 8:30 last few Sundays. I didn't do last Sunday, but yeah, we can do 8:30. We can do 9. Do like 45 minutes to an hour each Sunday morning. Thank you so much for joining, everyone. How many have we got liking the... How many people have liked the show? We got to 200 likes. Yes, we have. Thank you, guys, for hitting that like button. And thank you for hitting that subscribe. Sorry to make the chat subscriber only, but it's a reward for those that want to hit that subscribe button. So if you're wondering why you can't add your comments in the chat, and please do, because I bring up so many of them, then it's because you need to hit that subscribe button and then you can comment. Guys, we will... yeah, there we go. Yeah, I know, Mark. I'm up at 6 a.m. every morning, or 5 some mornings. Guys, I want to draw our attention to... I mean, if you've just tuned in, go back and watch, by the way, because we've gone through some awesome stuff in between the posts, whether it's the Scout Members area stuff before or the between the posts more visual stuff, whether it's XG plots or shot maps, average position and pass maps. We've also looked at some really cool in around the area boxes in the half space plot maps, which are great, seeing dominance of Brighton over Ipswich, for example. But I also wanted just to draw your attention to, is anyone here, let me know in the comments, playing any draft game? Like, do you play fantasy draft of any type? Just hang on a minute. Where did Janny go? I'm back. Guys, do you play any form of fantasy draft game? I want to know what percentage of my viewers do play a draft game, because I am playing a draft game, and in that draft game, I am playing up against, can you see the names at the top of the screen here in this graphic? I know it's really small. You can see Big Man Backer, FPL General, Praz, or the Wire Boys, the Black Box Boys, FPL Mate, Let's Talk FPL, FPL Salah, me, Holly Shand, and FPL Family, right? 10 content creators. We are all in a draft league. And you can see Big Man had the first pick. He went Haaland, and it then goes left to right. General went Salah. Wire Guys went Saka, and so on. I got the 8th pick, and I went Ollie Watkins. Before me, Salah went Eze. Foden was taken before Isak was taken. I was like, Ollie Watkins is still available. Bingo. So I got Watkins, and then I got Bruno. I got Van Dijk, and we can go down Jota, Welbeck, Rico Lewis, Doku, Kamada, bad pick, and so on and so forth. We can see my picks. Let me know in the comments who you think has the best team. But if you want to play a draft league with your mates, honestly, my favorite format I've ever used is through Sleeper, and there's a link in the description. If you fancy playing the Sleeper game, you can sign up. It's free. It's so user friendly and easy. Like, the drafting was so much fun. So we've set it up from game week 4 onwards. You could do the same from game week 5 onwards. So what I'm saying is, check out the Sleeper app. I think you'll absolutely love it. And there's a link in the description if you want to play draft. Download it using my link, because I'm an affiliate. And then let me know if you enjoy it, and send it to your mates and get drafting. It's a great way to fill your week next week. You can start from game week 5. You can create your own rules and your own scoring. You can do FPL scoring. You can do Sleeper scoring. You can do a hybrid. It's loads and loads of fun. So yeah, do get involved with that if you fancy. Link is at the top of the description. Guys, we also have a great opportunity this morning, if you fancy it, to become a channel member. Loads of my members have been in the chat this morning. Like, you can see, like, Mackham's a member because you can see straight away the emoji by his name. Sammy's a member. Last 2 comments from 2 channel members. Brilliant. I love that. Keith's a member. John's a member. It's great to see so many members in the chat. If you want to be a member, you can click the word join below the screen as well. Maliki is in the house. We've got a WhatsApp group for the Ultras. We've got the squad tier, but all members' questions are answered if you're commenting on a video or if you're live in the chat. And it's a great way, of course, of supporting the channel. But also I'm doing extra content, extra videos, whether it's me walking around the Sky campus or just playing pool or whatever. But if you want more content, then yeah, channel members is a great way of joining. Sammy is in the house and loving it. Thank you, Sammy. You said in the WhatsApp group this morning, you were like, oh, I'm going to I've had a rubbish week. I'm going to switch off now until tomorrow or whatever, FPL. And I messaged back, this was like 8 a.m. or 7 a.m. And I messaged back being like, I'm streaming at 9. He was like, see you there. And I was like, can I make you a mod? So great. Thank you, Sammy, for having another hour of FPL. If you've enjoyed today's show, though, go back and watch the last hour. We've gone through loads of stuff. I'm just whizzing through it now. Thank you to everyone that's listening on podcast, listening and watching on catch up. On your way out, hit that subscribe button, and I've got so much content planned for the next few days. You're gonna see a wildcard draft as well. Yeah, because genuinely I might have to wildcard, because I am on the bare bones. If you're joining now, go back and watch the last hour like FPL Rowie, and I'll see you next time for another video. Bye, guys.